The Doro 7030 is a simple to use mobile phone aimed at older people. It features big buttons, a large clear display, is hearing aid compatible and has an emergency assist button. In this video I'll show you how to set up the Doro mobile phone. The phone that I'm using was £80 and purchased from Argos in July 2023. The phone from Argos comes on Vodafone pay-as-you-go, but it is available on other networks and or unlocked. Doro Response is a free service as of July 2023. In this video I'm going to cover the following: installing a battery and SIM card, orientation of the mobile phone, turning the phone on for the first time, customizing the display, customizing the sounds, adding contacts, using the emergency button, and the Doro Response feature. Installing the battery and SIM card. So in this video I'm going to show you how to install the SIM card and battery into the Doro 7030. So what we've got here, we've got the battery, we've got the SIM card, we've got the Doro itself, and we've got the plug. So we'll put that on the side because we don't need that for now. So if we look at the Doro itself, at the moment I'm holding it facing me, and you can tell that because you've got the Doro logo on the front, and if I lift it up you can see the phone itself. So I'm going to turn the phone over, and in the bottom left hand corner at the edge you can see that there's a little dip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a nail, and I'm just going to pull the cover apart, and just do it gently and it'll just pop off. So what we've got inside is we've got two sockets for the SIM card. Now the SIM card for this phone is a nano SIM. So here we've got our Vodafone SIM card, and if you look very carefully what you can see is that we've got three SIM cards here. So we've got a standard size SIM card, then we've got a micro size SIM card, and we've got a nano SIM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this very middle one all the way out like that, and it's quite fiddly, and if you look from that side you can see that we've got the electrical contacts. Now this goes with the little cut-out edge pointing to the left, and in this case we've got the Vodafone logo pointing upwards. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide that and try and get it on camera into there. I'm just going to push it all the way in so it's nice and secure. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my battery, and if you look on the battery you'll see that you've got 3 little contacts there, and those 3 little contacts want to line up with those 3 contacts there. So I'm going to put it in front first, and then just push it down at the back so it's nice and secure. Now I'm going to take my my back cover, sorry. I'm going to place that on the phone like that, so I'm going to put it at the back, and this just takes a little bit of pressing at the back, and you just press it all the way around to make sure it's here. So now if I bring the phone back forwards, lift it up, and I press the power button, and the phone starts. So we can see now just in that little top corner it says 4G and we've got two little bars telling us what our mobile phone signal is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this phone back off again. I'm going to put it on charge, and then I'll do a video walking through actually setting up the phone. So to put the phone on charge, there is a charging socket on this side of the phone, and the plug for the charger only goes one way round. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the little Doro logo is facing upwards. And if you can't see that, you can actually just feel there that there's actually a little bump to let you know that you're holding this the right way up. And all we do is we pop that in there, and we put the phone on charge. Orientation. So now let's have a look around the Doro 7030. So I've got the phone on the desk in front of me. It's currently closed and it's facing me. So starting from the top, we have the camera flash, and the phone also has a flashlight function, so that's what this top circle is. Then below the top circle, we have a red light. When the red light's on, it means that the battery level is either low or that the phone is currently charging. Below that, there is a green light. When the green light is on, it means that there's a new message or that you've missed a call. Then finally, below that, there is the main camera. So now if we look on the right hand side of the phone, we've got the headphone and hands-free socket, and then below that we've got the socket for charging the phone. On the bottom of the phone, you'll see that there's two little contacts. These are if you've got a charging cradle, so you can just put the phone into a charging cradle, and that's what those are for. On the left hand side of the phone, we've got the volume up and the volume down button. If we look at the back of the phone, in the middle of the phone we've got the emergency button, and then to the right of that we've got the speaker. So starting from the top of the phone, we have the front facing camera, and then to the right of that we have the speaker. Then below that we've got the main screen itself, and then we come on to the main body of the phone. So starting in the top left hand corner, we have the option or menu button. So what this button will do is it will allow you to access the various menus on the phone, and also allow you to access additional options within features. On the right hand side to that, we've then got the back button, and the back button will take you back to the previous screen. So if you get lost while using the phone, you can use the back button to take you back up a level or back to your home screen. Then below the menu or the option button, we have the camera button, and to the right of the camera button we have the navigation keys. So what we've got here is we've got up, down, left and right, and in the centre we've got the OK button for confirming menu options. To the right of the arrow keys we have the delete button or the backspace button, so you use that when typing a message. If you make a mistake, pressing that will delete the last character you typed. Then we've got the call button, and we've got the call cancel button. The call cancel button is also the power button, so pressing and holding the call cancel button will turn the phone on and it will turn it off. We've then got the main keypad, numbers 1 to 9 and 0. And these act as speed dial, so pressing and holding 1 will ring the voicemail, and you can also assign contacts to numbers 2 up to 9. So pressing and holding 2 will ring a contact whose phone number is stored in position 2. When you're sending a text message, you can also use these keys by repeatedly pressing them to type numbers and letters as well as numbers. Finally, at the bottom of the screen, we've got the star button, and the number 0 also doubles up as space. And at the bottom right hand corner, we have the hash key, and this is also the silent mode. So if you want to turn the ringer off on your phone, you can press that to put your phone into silence. Turning the phone on for the first time. So I'm going to turn the phone on for the first time. So I press and hold the power button until I feel a little vibration. Now it takes a little while for the phone to start up, but once it has done, it's opened up at the language menu. So if I want to move up and down this menu, if I want to choose a different language, I can use the up and down arrows to move up and down the menu. So I want English, so I'm going to come up to the top, and then I'm going to press OK. And now it wants to do various settings to do with the SIM card, so I'm just going to press OK to accept these. And this one I need to press the down arrow to come down to OK, and then press OK. So it's now asking me if I want to watch a tutorial. Well, I don't want to, so I'm going to press the left arrow to come on to skip, and then I'm going to press OK. And I just want the standard setup, so I'm going to press OK to accept that. And again, I don't want to watch that tutorial, so I'm going to press the left arrow to come on to skip, and then I'm going to press OK. So the phone is now ready to start making phone calls. Customizing the display. So now let's look at some of the things we can do to make the display a bit easier to see. The first thing is to make the font size larger. So to do that, I'm going to come down to Menu, which is now selected, and then I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to press the down arrow until I get to Settings, and press OK. And now I'm going to press the down arrow until I come to Display, and press OK. And now I'm going to come down to Font Size, press OK. And I want to make this larger, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the right arrow button to increase the font size. Now that that's happened, I will press the back button to make the screen large, to go back to the previous menu. So now you can see we've got nice big text on our menu. So the next thing we might want to do is increase the contrast of the display. So many people with low vision find seeing white text on a black background easier to read. And what we can do on this phone is invert the display. So to do that, I've already got menu selected, but if I hadn't, I would have pressed the down arrow to select that, and then I'll press OK. Now I'm going to press the down arrow to come all the way down to settings, press OK. I'm going to come down to display, OK, and I'm going to come down to color invert. So you can see now that the rest of the menu is now white text on a black background. So I'm going to press the back button to come all the way back to my home menu, my home screen. But one thing you can see there is that that's not very clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the wallpaper on the phone to make it so that it's better contrast. So to do that, we're going to use a camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photograph and have a white background, which will make the black text easier to see. Unfortunately, this text doesn't change colour depending on the image, so it's black text on whatever background it is. So I'm going to press the camera button, and that will start the camera up. And now I'm just going to press the phone against the desk. So this would create a black image, but because it's inverted, it comes out as white. And now I'm going to press the camera, and you'll hear a little shutter sound. So now I'm going to press the back button, and I'm going to come down to menu, with my down arrow, and press OK. Come back down to settings, come back down to display, come down to wallpaper. Then I'm going to select gallery, and I'll press OK. And you can see now there's a few blank images. There's some that I did earlier. So I'm going to select the one on the far left, and you can see that it's the only one with a little blue box around it. So I'm going to press OK. Select that. That's a set wallpaper. So I press OK again. And that's now my wallpaper. So now when I press the back button, go all the way back to the home screen, you can see now that I've set a high contrast wallpaper on that. Another thing we can do is we can make the main menu a bit easier to see. So if I press OK, it comes onto this menu with all these icons on it. And what we can do is we can make that so it's a list of text, so you don't have to move around so much. So I'm going to press the down arrow until I get to settings. I'm going to press OK. Then I'm going to come down to display. Press OK. And it says main menu. So I'm going to press OK on that. And at the moment, grid is selected. And I want single. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the down arrow to move on to single. And then I'm going to press OK to select that. Now, if I press my back button, that takes me back onto the main menu. But what you can see now is instead of having that grid, I now have one menu item at a time on screen. So it makes it a bit easier to see what you've actually got selected. And then if I want to come back to my home screen, all I have to do is just press that one button. Customizing sounds. So now we've looked at the options for setting up the display on our phone. Now let's have a look at customizing the sounds. So in this section, I'm going to show you how to increase the ringtone volume and turn it up to maximum. how to change the handset volume, so the actual hall volume, to louder. How to change the actual hall volume for people with mild hearing loss. And I'll also show you how to customize the ringtone. So the first thing we're going to do is go down to menu, press OK, and I'm going to come down all the way down to settings. And press OK. I'm going to come down to sound. And now, to turn up the ringtone, I'm going to press the down arrow until I come onto ring volume. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the right arrow to increase the ring volume. And as I do this, I'll be able to hear what the new ring volume will be. And now I'm going to press the down arrow. And I'm going to go into audio setup. So this is where you set the speaker volume for people with hearing loss. So I'm going to press OK. And then there's 3 modes. There's normal, which is for people with normal hearing. There's high, which is for people with mild hearing loss. And then there's hearing aid compatibility mode. And that's for people who use a hearing aid. If you use a hearing aid, you'll need to have a look at the instructions that come with your particular hearing aid to see how it will work with this phone. But for this example, I'm going to choose high. Now I'm going to press the back button to go back 1, and that takes me back to the sound menu. So now let's look at changing the ringtone. So if I press the down arrow, and I want to come down to Sim 1 ringtone. When I press OK, it will play the current ringtone to me. Then I can use the up and down arrows to hear previews of the other ringtones. Once I find a ringtone I like, I can press OK to save that ringtone. So I'll press OK to go on to ringtone. And then once I've set my ringtone, I press the back button to come back to the sound menu. I can also choose whether I want the phone to vibrate when I receive it hall, so it will vibrate as well as letting you have the ringtone. So now that we've done that, we'll return back to the main menu. So now if I hold the phone, you'll hear the new ringtone. Adding contacts. So we've now set up our sounds, we've set up our display. So now let's add a contact to our telephone book. So to do this, I'm going to press OK just to wake the phone up again. And I've already got menu selected. If I hadn't, I would just press the down arrow to select menu. Now I'm going to press OK. And contacts is the first option on the menu system. So I'm going to press OK again. And now, because I've got no contacts in my address book, it will give me the option of adding a contact. So to do that, I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to add a contact called Bob. So to do that, you'll notice on each of these keys you've got 3 letters. You've got the number 2, and then we've got ABC, number 3, DEF, number 4, GHI. And you type the contact name in using those keys. So if I press the number 2, I press it once, I'll get an A. I press it twice, I get a B. Now you'll notice now that I've got a B and a C. And if I go over to type in O, I'm getting cannot. So this is a feature called predictive text. And it really does tend to get in the way when you're trying to type in things such as contact details. So the first thing we want to do is we want to turn off predictive text. So to do that, I'm going to press the back button. I'm going to discard the changes, so I'm just going to press the right button, choose discard, and press OK. Then I'm going to press the backspace and come back to the main menu. Now I'm going to go down to settings. I'm going to press OK. I want to come all the way down to system. Press OK. I want language and input. And I want to come down to predictive text. And I want to turn that off by pressing OK. Now I press the back button. I'm going to press it until I get back to the home menu. And again, I've already got menu selected. So I press OK. I'm going to make contacts. Add a new contact. And now I can type in Bob's name. So A, B, B. Now, to type in his, if he has a surname, I can put that there. Type in his phone number. And I can choose whether that's his mobile number or his work number or his home number. And I can add additional phone numbers, depending on what they are. If he's got an email address, I can have his email address. And I can save that. So all I did was just press the down arrow until I got to save. So I'll press save. And that's Bob now saved to my phone. So now if we want to call Bob, let's go back to the home menu. And if we want to call Bob, I can press OK to go into my menu, press OK on contacts, and then just press the down arrow until I reach Bob, and press OK. And now I can choose, if Bob had more than one number, I could choose which number to ring. So if I wanted to ring his home number or his work number, so I want his mobile, so I'll just press OK again. And there we go. So another feature we can do with this phone is we can save our favourite contacts to speed dial. So all I would have to do is press and hold one of these keypad numbers, and it would automatically dial that number for me. So I don't have to go into the address book every time. So to do that, I'm going to press OK and go into menu, press OK for contacts. Now I'm going to use the option button And I'm going to come down to speed dial. So it says there, set contact to speed dial. So I press OK. Now, 1 is always voicemail, so I'm going to add Bob to number 2. So I press OK. I tap on add. And then I've only got 1 contact, but I just press my down arrow to select Bob, and then I press OK to select it. And that's now added Bob to speed dial position number 2. So now I press the back button to go back to my main menu. And now if I want to ring Bob, all I have to do is press and hold number 2. Now if Bob rings, it will ring with the default ringtone. But it may be that Bob is somebody important, and I want to know when it's Bob ringing before I even take the phone out of my pocket. So to do that, I'm going to set a custom ringtone for Bob. So first of all, we're going to menu, going to contacts. I'm going to go into Bob. I'm going to press options. And I'm going to choose set ringtone. And just as I did for when I was setting the ringtone originally, it played me a preview of the ringtone. I was able to hear various different ones. Then I pressed OK to select the ringtone I wanted, and then I pressed the back button to bring me back to this screen. So now let's go back to the home screen. And if Bob rings again, we can hear Bob's new ringtone. So what happened if we miss a call? So now that we've had a missed call, you'll notice that we've got a little green light flashing. And that tells us that we've either got a missed call or we've got a text message. So if I open the phone up, and I can see now that I've got 1 missed call. So I want to read that, so at the moment read is currently selected, so I press OK. And now that brings up my missed calls. Now, if some time had elapsed between getting that missed call, or I wanted to see if I had any missed calls, I could come down to menu, I could come down to phone, and that would show me all my call history. Emergency button. The Doro Assistance button provides a method of summoning help in the event of an emergency. You can program up to 5 contacts who will be contacted if you press the Emergency Assistance button. These 5 contacts will each receive a text message indicating that you need help, and the phone will then start calling each one of these contacts in turn until the call is answered. One thing you need to be careful of when programming a contact is to make sure that an answering machine won't pick it up. because if an answer machine picks up, then the phone will stop calling. The second option is to use Doro Assistant. With Doro Assistant, the contacts who you are going to request help from will download an app onto their smartphone. Then, when you press the emergency button, they will be notified and the app will also show them your location. So if you're wanting this feature, for example, if you're out and about and you want to make sure someone knows where you are, this is particularly useful. However, it's important to remember that you do need internet as part of your whole package for this feature to work. So first of all, we'll set the Doro up using the standard assistance feature. So I'm going to come down to menu, and I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to come down to settings, press OK, and I'm going to go into the assistance menu. So the first thing I need to do is specify what mode I want to use. So if I go into OK, we'll see that we've got assistance and we've got response. So assistance doesn't require you to have access to the internet. It just sends a text message and will then call each contact in turn. The response feature does require that you have access to the internet. These days, most pay-as-you-go whole packages do have internet data included as standard, so you would need to check with your phone provider to see if that applies to you. So I'm just going to press the back button because I want to stay on assistance, and I'm going to come down to activation. And I need to choose how I want the button to be activated. So at the moment, the button is turned off. So if you press it at the moment, nothing will happen. And I've got two options. In normal mode, if you press and hold the button for 3 seconds, or you press the button twice within 1 second, then it will make an emergency call. On 3, you will press the emergency button 3 times in 1 second, 1, 2, 3, and that will make the emergency call. So in this case, I'm going to press 1, I'm going to select normal. So I'm going to come up to the top 1, press OK, and then press the backspace button. Now, I need to say who I'm going to call in the event of an emergency. So I come down to number list and press OK. And in this case, I want Bob, so I'm going to press OK. I'm going to choose my phone book and choose Bob. Now this is an emergency feature, but it's important to remember that you can't put numbers such as 999 or 112 into it. It won't allow you to do that. And they wouldn't accept automated calls anyway. However, if you have some sort of alarm receiving centre that you could use, they may do that. So the next thing I need to do is I need to choose what the text message says that I'm going to send to people in an emergency. So I press OK and I turn on SMS to turn on it sending a text message, and I come on to message, press OK, and I need to write my message. So I'm going to press Option and press Edit. And now I'm going to type my message, so I'm going to say alert, Now I'll press my option button again, and I'll press save that. Now I'll press my backspace button. And now I can also choose whether I want to send a text message with my location on it. So I'll do that. And now what we'll do is we'll press the backspace and we'll go back to our home screen. So now let's see what happens when we press the emergency button. So I'm going to press and hold the emergency button. We can see now we've got a text message. And we're now getting a phone call. Doro Response. The Doro Response app allows someone to support a user of a Doro phone. They can do things such as change settings and also receive alert messages if the help button, if the emergency assist button is pressed. So the first thing you need to do is to download and install the Response app from Doro on your smartphone. So I've just accepted the fact that Doro can send me both notifications and urgent alerts even if I'm in Do Not Disturb mode. Accept the terms and conditions. So this is a mobile phone number of the person providing support, not the Doro user. Again, this is the details of the person helping rather than the person who we're providing support to. Next, we get a text message with a verification code. Fortunately on the iPhone this is added automatically. We of course ask the app not to track us in other applications. Doro holds the person you are supporting, the senior. Tapping on Add Senior will bring up your contact list. Then tap on the contact you wish to support. You'll be asked to confirm that this is the correct contact. Once you've done this, an invitation will now be sent to the Doro user. The Doro user will now receive a text message from Doro. To open the message, press OK. Now use the up and down navigation keys to select the text message and then press OK to follow the link. Press OK again to open with response and then press the down arrow and the right arrow to navigate to always. And press OK. A message telling you to turn on location services will now be displayed. Press OK to confirm. Now press OK to turn on location services. Now press the down button to select mode and press OK. For location mode, select high accuracy and then press OK. Now press the back button twice to return to response by Doro. The next 3 screens provide some information on the Doro Response service. Press OK to move through these screens. You'll be then asked to confirm that you agree to the terms and conditions. With I understand and approve selected, press the OK button to tick the box. Then press the down arrow to click Next. Now, enter the mobile phone number of the Doro phone, this phone, and press the down arrow until Next is selected. You will receive a confirmation code by text. This will be entered automatically, and after a few seconds, your phone will display Response by Doro. You will now need to accept the invitation from the responder. The responder is the person providing support. There will be two options, responders and settings. Use the up and down arrow to choose responders, and then press OK. Now use the left and right arrows to select pending and press OK. A message asking you to confirm the invitation will be displayed. Press the right arrow button to select Accept and then press OK. Once you press Accept, the responder will be notified that you have accepted their invitation. The responder can see the battery level and location of the Doro phone. If you don't like the idea that the person supporting you can see your location at any time without you knowing, then you may want to turn off location services. The responder can also change various settings on the phone, such as display and brightness, and also sound and vibration. So now let's see what happens when I activate an emergency call with Doro Assist active. So I've now got an alert on my iPhone saying that Doro has pressed the alarm button. So if I tap on that, we hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel to find out when we create new videos. If you'd like to learn more about Sight Airedale, then please visit our website or join us on Facebook.